here cheesing for the camera. You know ain't nothing in there but some hot Cheetos, a chocolate shake, burgers, some fried chicken, whatever else eats. You know ain't nothing in there but some food and some fat. If you've been following me enough or long enough, then you know how I feel about child support. I think that after you have a child, it should be mandatory for the father, if he wants to put his name on the birth certificate, that he needs to do a DNA test for that baby. Now, if it comes back that's not his child and he still wants to sign the paperwork, by all means, play it, do your thing. But I believe it should be mandatory that you get a DNA test before the father can sign the birth certificate. I gave birth in Georgia, and when I gave birth, I asked them to do a DNA test. Not that I didn't know who the father was. No, I just wanted that paperwork, give Justin peace of mind. Just, you know, like I wouldn't be upset if someone asked me, if Justin asked me for, you know, a paternity test, because I know, right? I know I ain't been with nobody. I've been with you. So I know. And I don't have an issue giving you that documentation. I don't see that as a problem. It should be mandatory to begin with. I tried to get a DNA test at the hospital. Apparently, they don't do those. I don't know how it is in other states, but in Georgia, if you go and you give birth to a baby in the hospital, their policy is not to do, maybe at the hospital I was at, maybe that's not across the board, I don't know. But they don't do the paternity test for you. And that's weird. It should be mandatory. In order for him to sign the birth certificate, he should have to see a verified paternity test through the hospital or through the court, letting him know his status with that child. I'm sick and tired of these kids growing up thinking that their father is one person, only to find out that it's somebody else that's sick. It's sick for the child, it's sick for the man. Because, bitch, you knew you slept with other men. What's wrong with you? You knew you slept with other people around that same time, dirty broad. Can you imagine? You've spent X amount of time loving this child, thinking that they're your baby, thinking that they're your offspring. You're pouring into them. You've developed a relationship with this child because you think that they're your child, only to find out X amount of years later, no, that's not your child. That's somebody else's. What? Because it's like you get put in an awkward position because you've been raising this child that's not yours. And it's like you get angry with the mom, but it's like you still have that lived experience with that child and vice versa. That's some evil nonsense. That is like one of the most evil things you could do, in my opinion, is to lie to somebody and tell them that somebody's, you know, both ends, the child and the father, lying to them about who is who. So it should be mandatory. So I already agree. Paternity test done at birth. Let's get it.
Parents, listen up. There's a new bill, because you know they like to keep throwing bills at us, that's being proposed. It is called the Right to Know Act, and it can totally change what happens in the hospital when your baby is born. If parents go into the hospital and they have a baby and they are not married, the hospital is required, well, if this bill passes, the hospital would be required to offer a DNA test before the mother puts the father on the birth certificate.
It should be required regardless. It should be required. He should be forced to see if that's his child or not. That's how I feel. And I feel like it shouldn't even just be if they're not married. Make it so that when they're married too, they still have to do this damn DNA test. Because these funky bras be married and spread an eagle for a whole nother man. It should be across the board for married, unmarried, I don't give a damn. Because bitches lie, whether they're married or not. The law has flaws, but it's a step in the right direction.
So I read the caption of this video, and of course, I knew this was some BS, right? It says, a law passed making DNA tests mandatory at birth of the child. Now, of course, we know if there's ever a mandatory DNA test law, which does not exist in any state, it would have to be by the state. But anyways, I read that and heard the video.
So I see that TikTok's in the uproar because government officials are trying to make a law that states all couples that have a baby must get a mandatory DNA test at the birthing of the baby.
Again, guys, fake news, right? Shisha, why would you make this video? I got 5 other videos to show you after this. I went down a rabbit hole of a conversation I had a few years back. And the question here I have for you is, how do you think most women would respond to this? Some of you probably already saw this video from the past, but there's some other videos where women are against this happening in a very strange, strong way.
And a lot of women are saying that this is very unjust, that They don't believe in this. It's against women's rights, and you should just trust them. And I'm here to say, you scared me, okay? And then not on duty. Not on duty. What do you mean we are doing too much because I want to know if that baby came out of my balls? Are you crazy? You have the audacity. And at this point, I'm officially convinced that you would gaslight Jesus himself if you had the opportunity. Because there's no reason why you feel like this is unjust. We had a baby. So there's no way this is where we draw the line at, okay? And it's for plenty of situations that we should have this instated, okay? Paul, who is white, had a baby with Becky, who is white. Why the is the baby black? Okay.
So he's saying that that isn't true. I do want to look it up. Right to Know Act. Under new legislation, this is in Ohio, it says under the legislation, when a baby is born or en route to a medical facility, the institution would have to offer to complete genetic testing before the mother and alleged father sign an acknowledgement of paternity affidavit, a voluntary document for unmarried individuals confirming that both agree the man is the biological father and wish to name him as the legal father. So I'm guessing the reason why this isn't true is maybe it hasn't passed yet. They need to. I think it should be forced. They done forced us to wear the masks. They could force us to find out who the baby daddy is. I'm just saying, all this paternity fraud. Let me tell you why it should be forced. It should be mandatory because I'm tired of hearing these broads say, well, you just don't trust me. What you trying to say? You don't trust me? If it's mandatory, then it has nothing to do with trust. Baby, the law told us we had to do it, so we got to do it. It removes that, takes that off the table. So it's no longer about, you don't trust me. Because that's the card they're going to play if it's offered. Well, I guess you don't trust me. Take it off the table entirely. Make it mandatory. Once it's mandatory, just can't say, yeah, you just don't trust me. No, daddy government said. We gotta do the mouth swab. That's what the daddy government say. Say, get the little swab, get your DNA, get the baby's DNA, let's send it off to the lab and see. Because I'm tired of hearing them say that. You don't trust me. You're damn right. And especially after you said that, I really don't trust you now. There's always a broad that got something to hide. You don't trust me. Oof. Well, now I have even bigger reason as to why I don't trust yo. That is emotional manipulation. And that's a red flag and a half.
I did some research. I was like, okay, are there any bills out there that are actually proposing this? And I found this. Ohio, check it out.
Okay, Ohio parents, listen up. There's a new bill, because they like to keep throwing bills at us, that's being proposed. It is called the Right to Know Act, and it can totally change what happens in the hospital when your baby is born. Let's talk about it. So here's what's going on. If parents go into the hospital and they have a baby and they are not married, the hospital is required. Well, if this bill passes,
right,
the hospital would be required to offer a DNA test before the mother puts the father on the birth certificate.
Perfect.
If both parents say yes, then the test is done immediately. If they say no, they still have to sign a waiver saying they were offered to take the test, but they declined.
If you're dumb enough to decline the test, then you get what you get. At that point, I can't be mad for you if you decline the test. If you decline definitive proof that that is your baby, which actually, it might not be definitive because if she's sleeping with your brother, especially a twin brother, it might be a little difficult. It might be some choppy waters with that. I've seen enough Jerry Springer. But in regular cases, you'll be able to find out if that's your child, if you the pappy. Now, if you decline that test, you get what you get. And I won't feel no ways. At that point, it's in your ball court. You did this to yourself.
If one person says yes and the other person says no, then it is proposed that they go ahead and do the DNA test.
What I'm curious to know about is why would anybody say no? Now, I could see an issue with like receiving the answers that may be bad news at the time when you just had the baby. And there are ways around that, right? You could probably release results like 30 days after.
I don't agree with that. No, you need to find out right away. Because that's 30 days of time wasted if that baby isn't yours. The longest the wait should be is however long it takes them to process the DNA and figure it out. That's it. I want to know ASAP. Before the baby leaves the hospital, we need to know. I do not give allowances to shiesty people. You know you out here screwing other people. I don't care about how you feel about it. Yes, is it gonna hurt the man if he finds out that that's not his baby? Yes, but I'd rather you rip the Band-Aid off now before you invest time in that child that ain't yours, even more than you already did, because men also bond with the baby while the baby's in the womb. I remember when I was pregnant, Justin rubbing my belly, feeling the baby kicks, having our baby shower when we had Bella. That's all bonding. Prepping for the baby, getting everything ready. Justin was building furniture. I want that test immediately. Expeditiously, we need those results. Because I could give a damn how you feel. If you're a shiesty broad, you deserve to feel bad and anxious and worried. You deserve every bit of it. You shouldn't have did it. You should have been open eagle for every man, or 2 men, or 3 men, however men. We give allowances to people that don't give a damn about anybody else. Have y'all noticed that? Why the fuck should I care about how you feel? Oh, it's a tough time. She didn't give a damn about how he feel when she was laying up with all these other niggas, spreading eagle with no condom with other men. So why should I care about you and your feelings? Why is it that we're so generous with people who would spit on us and have spit on us? I don't get that. We don't need to be generous with these people. You did this to yourself. If she's crazy like that, take the baby. Find who the daddy is and see if he wants the baby. And if not, it's unfortunate. It truly is. And it's on the mom. You know, when kids get taken away from their ancient moms and ancient parents, they should have to pay into the system. They should get their wages garnished to cover the cost of their child. I don't know if they do that. If they don't, then they should. I'm not going to sit over here and feel sorry for you and be generous with you after you tried to run game on somebody. You're a villain. Why the hell should I don't care. I don't care how you feel. I've been pregnant twice. I've gone through birth twice. It was some of the lowest and the highest moments of my life. I still don't give a damn. You laid up with multiple men and then you tried to lie on, put this baby on somebody else. I don't care. We are too generous with people who are evil to us. You got to think how manipulative you have to be pregnant with somebody's baby and not tell them, hey, there's a potential that this isn't your child. There's a lot of manipulation that goes into that.
Supporters of this bill say that this protects kids. It gives them the clear legal paternity from day one. There is no questioning whether or not someone is their father or not. And
Right.
other supporters say it can eliminate kids learning further down the road that someone is not their father when they thought it was from the start. But there are a lot of people pushing back on it. And they're saying that is not the time and the emotional space to demand some sort of test. So this bill has not passed. It's still being debated.
The only people that care about that are the ones who want to lie. That's the part. You only care about that if you have something to hide. If you ain't been screwing every Tom, Dick, and Harry down the street, you're not going to be worried about no damn paternity test. You'll be like, whatever, take the test. Just add it to the list of things we have to do before we take the baby home. It's no big deal. It's only people who want to hide things. Liars, manipulators, people who are evil. Those are the only ones who care. I couldn't care less if you do the paternity test because I know who the father of my children are. But it's people who have something to hide. Those are the ones who are like, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Well, you wouldn't be worried about that if you knew who the father was. You wouldn't be worried about that if you weren't trying to put a baby on somebody and it ain't their kid. Like I said, we're way too generous with evil people. Why are we negotiating with terrorists? Why are we negotiating with people who want to do evil things to children and men? Because it is evil to the child and the man. How she fooled all these people, I have no idea. The pregnant belly isn't floppy. It's not flappy. There's shape to it because the baby's there. Like there's shape to it because there's a whole baby there. At a certain point, you're going to feel kicks. And if the baby isn't kicking, my guy, if she is pregnant and the baby's not kicking at a certain point, you got a bigger problem on your hands. You need to go get the baby checked out, make sure his baby's still alive in there. You had this big back heifer that was faking the pregnancy this whole time. They even had a baby shower. This is Daphne. I'm gonna read the caption because this is funny. His girlfriend faked an entire pregnancy. They even had a baby shower last month. The whole time she was just a high-calorie bell pepper with legs. This isn't funny, but that caption is hilarious. She tricked him and didn't let him attend appointments. Red flag. Not sure if she faked the ultrasounds, but when it came down to it, he found out she lied and now he's crushed. That's sad. Because if you're actually looking forward to a baby, I don't even want to imagine what that's like. But, you know, think about people that have miscarried. They lose their baby. They wanted their baby. That's sad. You're expecting life, your life, a piece of you to be born. This is a blessing and a curse because, you know, he's going to mourn this baby that he wanted to have. But thank goodness he don't got a baby with this broad. He could walk away scot-free. Don't have to deal with her ass no more. He not tied to this heifer, which is a blessing all in itself. This is how far some people will go to push a lie. What she did was waste his time, and you don't get that time back. Exactly. Leave now or the next lie will cost you your freedom. Once a liar exposed, they always play the victim. Absolutely. She's big, but she's not so big where if she was pregnant, you wouldn't see an outline of a belly. You definitely would. And not only that, the belly would be sitting up a certain way. She just looks fat. She does not look pregnant. This is a mess. You see what I mean? Stomach is big, but it's flat. Like it's flat like this. It's outward, but it's flat. It does not have the shape of a pregnant belly because she's not pregnant. You know how evil you have to be? You over here cheesing for the camera. You know ain't nothing in there but some hot Cheetos, a chocolate shake, burgers, some fried chicken, whatever else eats. You know ain't nothing in there but some food and some fat. And you got the nerve to be sitting over here cheesing while he's sitting over here putting his arm, like, what in the tarnations are we talking about here? That's a mess. You know how disgusting of a bitch you have to be to do this? You know ain't nothing in there except some gas and some fat.
I'm at the women's hospital trying to see my son get an ultrasound. This girl, she don't want to show my son. This shit crazy.
And you could hear in his voice, he's shaking up. That's sad. But it's a blessing. Like I said, I'm glad you're not tethered to her. And if you decide, look, if he decides to continue on with this broad and she actually does get pregnant, he gets what he gets. And I won't feel bad for him at that point. I really won't.
This girl, she don't want to show my son. This shit crazy. Then I try to take her to she don't even want to show me an ultrasound. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Girl, you look slow. And yes, I'm going to roast her. I don't give a damn. When you do evil stuff like this, you deserve to get roasted. For all the people, if I clip this, all the people, why are you being so mean? You could call me mean all you want. At least I ain't doing what this broad is doing. She gets what she gets. She deserves every bit of this roast she about to get.
Shut the fuck up. I had to drag her up here and she still don't want to get an ultrasound, y'all. Can y'all please tell me what's wrong with that? That don't seem right with me.
Man, give me another wine, cool. It's hot as hell out here. Don't you see I'm sweltering? You can't drink wine. Oh, why the hell not?
This movie is so bad, but that's exactly what she did. She's Rasputia. This broad is Rasputia.
You're with child. With child? I wouldn't know. Oh.
Remembered the lie. You done remembered the lie. Oh, yeah, I lied.
Oh, I had gas. I still got it.
This broad is sick. He's in the position where he can dodge this big ass bullet. And if he chooses to stay with her ass, he gets what he gets. I'm not going to feel bad for him after that point because you see the signs here. You see that she's crazy and you're continuing on. So at this point, if he chooses to stay with her, he gets what he gets. And I'm not going to put the cape on for him. I feel bad for him now. I won't feel bad for him later. I hope that this law passes. I hope they institute this law everywhere, but they tighten it up. Make it mandatory across the board. Doesn't matter if you're married or not. Make it so that there's no choice. Mandatory. You have to get a DNA test. That way broads can't say, oh, no. It has nothing to do with trust. The government is stepping in. and it's no longer in our hands. Okay, we just got to do what we got to do. And like I said, the only people who are protesting this are the ones that want to get away with some nonsense.